Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're unpacking some ancient wisdom that quietly flips modern success on its head. And honestly, most people miss this their entire lives. So let's slow it down and really look at it. Why is it that even when people get everything they want, money, status, achievements, comfort, they still end up feeling strangely empty inside? It's a question that hits deeper than success itself. Because the truth is, most of us are not confused about what we want. We're confused about what actually matters. And that's where the book of Ecclesiastes steps in. Now, this isn't just any reflection. This comes from someone who had everything by human standards: wisdom beyond measure, massive wealth, power that influenced entire kingdoms, access to pleasure most people can't even imagine. And yet, after testing life at its absolute peak, he doesn't end with celebration. He ends with clarity and almost a warning. He looks at everything he chased and basically says, "This, on its own, cannot satisfy you." That's the turning point. Because then he points to something radically different. Something that doesn't fade when everything else does. His conclusion is simple but heavy: reverence for God and obedience to his commands. He calls this the whole duty of man. Now let's be clear here. This fear of God isn't about terror or panic. It's not about running from God. It's about reverence, deep awareness, a life realigned under truth instead of impulse. It's the moment you stop treating life like it's only about what feels good right now and start asking what is actually right and lasting. So the real question becomes, how do we live this out in a world that constantly pushes us toward temporary wins? It starts with a shift in direction. Stop building your life only around what disappears and start anchoring it in what remains. That means choosing truth over trends, obedience over impulse, depth over distraction. And here's the part most people don't expect. This doesn't shrink your life. It actually frees it. Because when you're no longer chasing things that can't satisfy you, you finally stop running in circles and you start living with clarity. So maybe the question isn't, how do I get more? Maybe the real question is, what am I building my life on? And will it still matter when everything else fades? It actually defines it. Because without that spiritual center, life slowly turns into directionless wandering. And if we're being honest, that kind of life is exhausting. Every success feels fragile. Every achievement feels temporary. And even your biggest wins don't really settle the deeper unrest inside. This is where the message of Ecclesiastes becomes so sharp. It quietly lays out two paths in front of us. On one side, you live under constant pressure, always searching, always chasing, always trying to hold everything together. And on the other side, there's something very different: real direction, grounded peace, a life that isn't constantly collapsing under its own weight. And the difference isn't external, it's internal alignment. Because when you restore that true center, when God is no longer just a background thought but the diawak, actual anchor of your life, something shifts. Everything else finally takes its proper place. Success doesn't disappear, but it stops controlling you. Goals don't vanish, but they stop owning you. And life itself becomes clearer, lighter, more ordered. And here's what makes this wisdom so universal. It's not reserved for a certain type of person, not just for religious experts or spiritually advanced people. It's for anyone who is still breathing, anyone who is still searching for meaning, anyone who feels the tension between achievement and emptiness, anyone who knows something is missing but can't quite name it. So let's be honest for a moment. Is God actually at the center of your decisions? Or has he become background noise while everything else takes priority? Don't rush past that question, because it matters more than most people want to admit. And if you want to go deeper into this yourself, read Ecclesiastes 12:13 and sit with it for a moment, not just as information, but as reflection, and see what it exposes in your own life.